My name is George, and today I'll be talking through Korli, new language AI tutor. So, how Korli works is a language chatbot that chats at your level. So, just looking here, I'll share this link to the app, but it supports different languages, the same languages that GPT uses for their text to speech and any other languages that GPT currently supports. And it's a chat bot, foreign chat bot that matches your level that you're currently at. So it works from A1 to C2, so for beginners all the ways up to C2 proficiency level. And it does a couple different things as well as just a chatbot that helps increase learning and speed and addresses some issues in foreign language learning with AI that I've seen when I was trying to learn through ChatGPT or ChatGPT voice. So one thing that's very helpful is that with every message in this chatbot, you will get an instant translation of the AI message. So you don't need to go to Google Translate or open up another screen to understand the message. It will be translated for you immediately if you need that. Every message will include audio playback, so when you receive an AI message, you'll be able to listen to it back, listen to it as many times as you want, and it doesn't interrupt you or things like that, which happens with GPT voice when you're having those conversations. Additionally, in every message, it will give you a correction. So if you made any mistake in your sentence previously, the previous message that you sent, you will see a correction of your message. So you have an instant correction there, and then it will also give you an audio message of how that corrected audio is. Additionally, you'll be able to send voice messages. You'll be able to transcribe voice messages, listen to the voice message, and send that transcription. And there's also some customization that you're able to do. You're able to change the theme colors here. You're able to change to light and dark mode, which can all be configured through the settings as well as just this application page here. Perfect. So now looking at the chatbot itself, you can switch pages by the slider up in the top left. So when I start a chat here, you can see the different languages that are available here. It can be used to learn English as well, as long as you're able to configure it here. You can just switch the language, and you have your levels from A1 to C2, and just type in for what each one means if you're not familiar with this level system. So when you start a conversation, we'll have our first message here. You can play the audio of this message, which will play the GPT text-to-speech audio that's saved for this message. Then we'll also be able to see the translation. So here I've already typed up a message. У меня все хорошо, как дела у вас? Я только что поужинал. Everything's good. How are you? I just finished dinner. So I'll go ahead and send this message. Going to be responding. I have streaming of the AI messages. У меня тоже все хорошо. Я рад, что у тебя был ужин. Что ты ел на ужин? So I am all good. Everything is good with me too. I'm happy that you had dinner. What did you eat for dinner? So now we have our translation. We're able to see that very quickly. We're able to play the audio of the AI message. So I can hear the message play back, and then I can also listen to my own message as well. So if I sent a voice message, if I transcribed it, or if I just did what I did right here and I typed it out, maybe I was pronouncing it wrong in my head, but maybe I spelled it right. So now I can listen to the GPT playback of that message. So it's using the correct accents. It's usually, I would say like 90% of the time, the GPT text-to-speech is correct. And hopefully you're able to hear these messages. They're playing when I click on them, but I'm not sure if my recording will allow it. So now I have another example message here that has a grammar mistake. Я ел рыба и креветки. It should be accusative case there. So now I'll send this message and see the correction. That should come up. Здорово. Ты часто ешь рыбу? So it says it correctly here. It's correcting me also in the sentence as well. Рыбу и креветки. Какие морепродукты тебе еще нравятся? What other seafood do you like? So here I can go ahead again and see the translation of the message. So looks great. I can play the audio of the message. We've already seen that. And then I can also see my correction. Ja jel ribu I krevetki instead of riba. So there is that, and I can also hear the corrected audio. Additionally here, if we look into the chat input bar, we can see that we can change the gender of the male and female voice, so you're able to change how they come up. And then here is our waveform. So here we can speak into the microphone and have this transcribed for us in our chat input. Just takes a moment, and now we can see our message. We can listen back to our message here. I will save you that. I won't play it, but you can listen back to the message that you transcribed to hear it and see if it's close to what you did. This does use OpenAI speech to text, so OpenAI sometimes will make grammar adjustments here. So that's always one thing to keep in mind. But when I use this on my phone, which it is optimized for mobile, so if I go here, I can show you this. This is what it would look like similarly on your phone. I think I use iPhone 15 dimensions, but it will be similar to the other ones. But I think it looks better on desktop, but it's available on phone. And sometimes if I'm on phone, what I was saying before, I just use the iPhone keyboard, the keyboard voice. So I just speak into it, and that's usually I can see my if I wrote something incorrectly or something like that, because sometimes GPT will do the grammar. But when you're on the computer, I don't have that option to put into the mic, or it's a little bit trickier depending if you're not using the Mac keyboard or if you have a different keyboard. So you have the transcription option available here. So this is everything about the app. You have your personalization here, as we talked about before. You can change the look of it and how it seems there. And we have all of our messages and corrections. There are a lot of other things that I'd like to do. I'd like to possibly add some information for like user specific instructions. That was some feedback that I was given, that I can add a setting where users can put in specific information that they want to be sent with every GPT prompt. So that would be one. Everything is set up properly for thread management. So just like GPT, you can open up a sidebar and you can see all your threads. So that will be something I'll be implementing, or I'll be looking to implement. I'm a back-end developer, so I'm not very familiar with front-end items. Most of this was all built in Cursor, and Cursor does a great job, but I think the front-end could use a lot of more pop, could use some more pop to be more attractive. But let's also now talk about some of the technologies used. So here, for tracing each message and seeing the prompts and how everything works, we use LangFuse, or I use LangFuse. If I give this a refresh, I'll see our new messages that came through. And this way we can see how the LLM is responding to each of these messages. I think it's just taking some time to load. Maybe while that loads, we can look at Langsmith Studio, or this is visualizing the Lang graph. So whenever one message is sent, this is what's going on. I'm running my code locally here in LangGraph Dev, and here I can see how I've set up my Lang graph to run. So when a message is sent, we get to this initialize state node. This node decides if this is a first question. So if it's a first question, we generate our initial question because the LLM responds first, or the tutor responds first. If not, we come to this fan out, which is going to do two things in parallel. So it's going to correct the response if there's a correction needed, so it runs through those correction nodes, and then it's going to do the call models, which is just getting the AI message. So when these happen, first we have a call to GPT to get the correct message that GPT wants to send. Then we have a call to GPT text to speech to get the speech message for each one, and then we have a call to save that speech message in Supabase. So there's a lot of different things going on. So Supabase is where all the URLs are stored for the audio messages. So if I go over here and I go into developer tools and I just look at the response of one of these messages. Additionally, I didn't show this, but one cool thing is you can always respond in English or another language and it'll just show up as a correction. I eat shrimp often during fasting seasons. So, since in this message, And let me expand this, show you how this works. I'll go to the network, scroll this down. Here's my message. And if I go to my response, payload, where's, one moment, did it not come back? Oh, event stream comes in as a stream, sorry. I can see when it finishes, and I can see the stream here. Let's see if I can see the information side of this. There should be a, I wonder if there's an easy way to see this. Let's go to assistant end, for example, and I'll paste it over here. I can see here that there's an audio URL. This is an audio URL that's stored on Supabase, as you can see. And if I copy this one, you can see what would happen. I can just play this right here in the browser, and this is what the front end is playing. So there we go. That's what's happening. And also, just to show here, I sent a message in English, and I can see exactly how I would have said this in Russian if I was trying to do that. So that's also another interesting use case, to see a message if you don't know how to do it. So that's what happens in these areas. We have the GPT, just the normal call. Then we have the text-to-speech call, and then we have the Supabase call, and it does it for both the correct response if it needs correction, and then also for the call model, and they happen in parallel. Then after that happens, we look to see if we need to summarize this conversation. So if the message thread gets too long, we need to summarize the messages so that we can keep them relevant and that the token count doesn't get too large and the LLM messages don't become irrelevant to the conversation. So there's a summarized conversation node, and then we send our message. And this is all streaming to the front end using server-side events. Now, if we go back to length views, now we can start to see our traces coming up. I won't refresh to see the English one because it took a little while. But here, I can see exactly what's going on in my timings. So just like we saw in Langsmith Studio, we can see our graph here. It's not as pretty, but this is through Langfuse, a different company. And here we have the initialized state. We have the fan out after an int. We can see that these are running in parallel. We have the fan in after processing and end. So this is only showing the route for me. So for me, I didn't need to go to the correction node. These are just optional. This one, you only go down one route. You don't have to go through everything. So these are the nodes that I hit. And if I go here, I can see each one of these nodes that are hit and what happens in each one. So here's my initial state, the fan out, call model, correct response, fan in, and should summarize. It looks like I can also see that here. It's no. So, for example, if we come to our call model, we can see our AI message here, and it's not showing the Supabase uploads and things like that. That's why this is 2 minutes and 2.51 seconds, but the entire call model node itself took 4 seconds. And this is because we can't see, or I'm not showing in here, the Supabase upload and the text-to-speech call. It's just showing the text OpenAI message. So here, we can also see our messages here. Here is my system message that I'm using for this level A2 student. So like we said, we're tailoring the conversation to a user's level. So for level A2, we only want to use the 1,000 to 2,000 most common words. We only want to use certain grammar sentences, certain grammar tenses. We only want to use certain sentence structures. So basic connectors, max 4 to 6 words per sentence. Ask open-ended questions about the topic, show interest in personal details, etc., etc. So there's different things that are added here. So now we can see all of our AI our messages, right? So we have our assistant message, and then we have our user message. So here the assistant is giving that message here. These are pre-built based on the level. And then we have our user message. For me, everything is good. How are you? Я только что поужинал. I just ate dinner. And I can see in the AI response here, in this first normal AI response, because we don't have a normal one up here, I can see my content, which is the AI message, and I can see the additional arguments, which is the translation of the AI message. And then I should also, I can't see it here, but I'll see it over here, the correction, which is happening. So here's my audio URL for the AI message. We'll go over to our correction. the correction here should be false for this message. So if we go here, corrected true. Oh, this is the second one. I ate fish when I said it incorrectly. So here's this correction. So corrected equals true. Here's my native language message, which is what the correction, the translation of the correction, and the corrected foreign language message. And then additionally here, we should also see if I go here, translation, we should see the audio URL for this as well. Oh, the audio URL doesn't show, but it should show in the output. So here. Here. This was the message that came in. Then we had the correction, and then maybe it's in the output. False. This is for the summarize. Okay. Here's the corrected message. This is furibu instead of furiba. So that's the correction. The translation, correction is true, and then the audio URL here. Perfect. So this is the app. It's available for anyone to use through this link here that will be shared. So please use it and provide feedback. You can reach out to me through the bottom header here, which I have my email and my LinkedIn. For any feedback you have, I appreciate it, and I will provide updates as the app continues to be updated. Thank you.